Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Anna. I'm a registered nurse and I'm a travel registered nurse. And as you can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about how to become a travel nurse. I really put thought into all of this information I'm about to spew out to you guys because I wish I had somebody that was like, my friend Shannon actually got me into travel nursing. She started it first and then me and my other friend followed suit. But I wish I had somebody to sit me down and tell me, okay, this is what you need to have in place first. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to prepare for. Like, this is what you already need to have in your head before you go to your recruiter. Like, I wish I had somebody to have broken down the steps for me. So that's what I'm going to be doing for you guys today. I'm gonna be eating breakfast. I just got off work and I just need to eat. I'm gonna be multitasking so that once I'm done I can just jump in the shower because I have to work tonight again. The first step is to really ask yourself, are you the type of person that is okay with change, and can you adapt to your surrounding easily? If you answered no to those two questions, I would really reconsider and think hard about the decision that you want to make about being a travel nurse, because being a travel nurse, you have to be able to adapt super quick, like at the drop of a dime. The first thing is to make sure that you have 2 years of experience. I started my travel career with a year and 3 months. Honestly, I wish I had waited the 2 years because I would have learned a lot more and I would have honed in on my skills better than I did when I left my staff job. So make sure you have 2 years, and most travel agencies, they won't take you unless you have 2 years. Just make sure you have that 2 years of experience before you even think about it, because once you get on that floor, you get 1 day of orientation. 1 day of orientation, because they already expect you to come in knowing your nursing skills and knowing what to do as a nurse. They just need to orient you to the unit and kind of show you a little bit of their specific charting. Another thing I would say before you even think about contacting an agency is soak up all that you can while you can, because like I said, you get 1 day. The most I've had is 2 days of orientation. Once you hit that floor, they are expecting you to know your shit. They're not holding your hands. It's not like if you're a staff nurse, you get like a week or 2 weeks of orientation. No, 1 day. So soak up as much as you can while you can at your staff job. The next thing I would say is try to take advantage of as much free stuff that you can from your staff job. So if they're willing to pay for your BLS, your ACLS, your PALS, your TNCC, your CN, your whatever cert that you can get for free, take it, because I just had to spend $568 to be exact on my TNCC. Mind you, I'm an ER nurse, so we have to have like a bit more. So just take as much of the freebie as you can, because once you leave that facility and you go to an agency, they are expecting you to be prepared and have all your docs and certs ready to go. Whatever your facility is willing to pay for, take it, because once you leave that facility, every cert that you have to get, you have to come up out of pocket for it. Or you can ask the agency to either cover half of it, depending on what the situation is. Like I've had a case where they wanted me to take a contract and it was paying good, but they needed me to have a cert that I didn't have, and I'm like, I can get it, but you guys would have to pay for it. And it was like, well, we'll pay for half of it. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, because at the end of the day, I'm going to have it. It's going to be my name on it. So just take all the freebies that you can. Take the time, like within that 2 years, owning on all your skills. So your IV skills, your assessment skills, people person skills. Just try to perfect your skills and owning on them as much as you can, because once you get out in this travel world, you gotta know your shit. You gotta be on your P's and your Q's. You don't have time to be lax. So, which is why they always want you to have the 2 years, because that is enough time to really, kind of like become your own person, like know the type of nurse that you are. So just keep those stuff in mind. Also, practice time management. Time management is going to be really important, especially if you are going to be working on a C unit. You already know what I'm talking about, because them patients, they have like a whole list of medication that they have to get, a whole list of labs that you have to draw. And if you have 2-3 of them at the same time, you have to have good time management. So keep those things in mind before you even think about contacting an agency. My ring light is just out here disrespecting me like that. Anyways, we move. Y'all can still see me, right? So once you have your 2 years and you've perfected your craft and you have taken all the freebie your hospital has to offer, then you put in your 2 weeks. Don't leave on a bad note, because you never know if you have to go back, if you do decide to come back home and settle down and whatever the case may be. Don't leave on a bad note. The next thing I would say is start preparing your documents. These are pretty much every single time I have applied to an agency or a job, these are the documents that they have asked me for. So they asked me for my TB shot. If you're somebody that was born in a foreign country, you're going to want to get an x-ray. Because 9 times out of 10, the TB reading is going to be positive. So TB shot and x-ray, no more than 30 days old before you apply. And then you want to make sure that all your titers are up to date. So like your hepatitis titers, make sure that they're not low. You want to have your immunization records up to date, along with a physical. I think that one can be within, as long as it is within the calendar year, that's okay. Make sure you have all your certs, so your BLS, your ACLS, your PALS, your stroke scale. Depending on what specialty you're working, you might need to get like a few more that is specific to that specialty. But make sure you have all of those documents, as well as 3 references that is ready to go. Because I've seen that hold up a lot of people, where they have all their stuff and they just need to get their reference checked off. And it's either, people miss the email, they miss the call. So have all those set up. And I would recommend having those in like printed out form, so physical form, and then have them scanned into a Google Doc. So like whenever you're applying to an agency or a job, all you got to do is just click on that one Google file and send it to the person, versus sending 4, 5, 6 different emails. You have everything in one place. And once you have all of the above done, then you want to have at least 5 to 6 agencies on your call log. The reason why I say that is because if you just stick to one agency, you might be cheating yourself out of money. You might be leaving money on the table if you just stick to one agency. So I think I'm signed up with at least 10 agencies, at least. Because one agency, and I've had this happen to me before, for the same assignment, right? For the same assignment, one agency was offering more than the other one was. And I went with the agency that was offering the higher pay package, because the highest bidder win. And don't be ashamed of that. Don't be ashamed to leave a company to go to another one because of the money. Because guess what? They would do the same thing. So don't feel guilty about that. But I would 100% have at least 5 to 6 agencies in rotation. so that you're not settling. Okay, so once you have your agencies in rotation, you have all your documentation and all that stuff, you want to at least have a list of non-negotiables. And when I say non-negotiable, I mean like, what are you not willing to come up off of? Is it the pay rate? So if you said, listen, I need to make $3 grand a week, nothing less than that. I need to be in Atlanta. I'm not traveling outside of Atlanta. I need to have insurance. I need to have a 401k saving opportunity. I need to, what else? I need to be able to get reimbursed for traveling. Whatever your non-negotiable look like, you need to already have those listed out on paper. So whenever you make that call to the recruiter, so, hey, Brittany, I need an assignment in Atlanta. It can't make no less than $3,000. I do not want to travel no more than 15 minutes outside of Atlanta. I need some really good insurance and 401k because I'm not getting no younger. You get me? So make sure you have your non-negotiables listed before you even call them, because they will try to talk you into whatever assignment. I've had people try to do that to me. And I'm like, no, sis, you not finna try to get me to sign a contract that's paying me $1,500 a week. Even though that is a lot for some people, but me knowing what's out there and what I've made before, I cannot go back to that. So have your non-negotiables listed out before you even get in contact with a recruiter, which is, again, why I said take that time to really research agencies, because some agencies are good to work with and some are not. So take that time to research the agencies, join Facebook groups. There's a ton of travel nurse Facebook groups that are out there that you can join and do your research that way. One question I would always ask is, do you offer travel reimbursement? So if I have to leave from Florida to go to Alabama, am I gonna get reimbursed if I drive my car or if I fly? Some companies do offer that, and then some of them don't. Another thing that you would be good to ask your recruiter is, are these assignment direct hire? Meaning that you're not gonna go through a hiring process, you're not gonna do an interview. It's just once you see the assignment, if everything looks good to you, it's automatically yours. Like if you want it, you can have it. And then once you have, gone in with the agency, got a recruiter, the last two things that they're likely gonna have you do, or three things actually, they're gonna have you do a drug test, and then they're gonna have you do some competencies online. So like for me, I always have like ED exams and stuff like that, which is annoying. And then I have to do a skills checklist. So that's really where you just go and kind of like rate yourself on how experienced you are on a certain skill. And once you have chosen an assignment or a couple assignments to choose from, you want to make sure that you go through your contract thoroughly. Go through that contract, because I've been in situations where I didn't go through my contract and it was things in there that I was not okay with. And then there was also an incident that actually just happened to me. This recruiter, I signed the contract. The location that I signed the contract for was not the location that I was actually going to be at. And I was like, no, I signed for here. So if I'm not going to be here, I'm not doing this contract. And it was as simple as that. The contract got terminated and I got another contract. So don't feel like you have to stick with something because you signed, especially when all the information wasn't disclosed to you, right? Which is why it's also important to have at least a decent relationship with your recruiter so that you guys are always on the same page. But once it comes down to the contract, to the assignment, you want to make sure that you read the contract carefully. Make sure that, it is at the length of time that you want it for. The C word. most contracts were 13 weeks, and then they would ask you to extend or renew your contract. But now that, you know, the C word is still around, I've seen 4-week contract, 6-week contract. My current contract right now is an 8-week contract. Also, with your assignment, whenever you're choosing housing, right? Some of the time the company might offer you their housing. That's kind of risky, especially with what's going on now. I would highly recommend getting your own housing, because you don't want to take it from the agency and it's not up to your own standard. Also, if you do take the housing from the agency, you're not going to get your full stipend, because they're going to say, okay, since we're paying for it, we have to take from your stipend in order to pay for it. So I would just suggest getting your own housing, or if it's your first time traveling, just try to travel close to home. I think it has to be 50 miles from your home address. Use somebody else's address that lives further than you, but at least you'll be able to come back home after your shift, and you know, you still get to pocket that money. Or if you want to travel out of state, go to a state where you have family that you can stay with your family. But pay very close attention to housing. Aside from the cost of housing, you want to be mindful of how far your location that you're staying at is going to be from your facility. The assignment I'm on right now is 1.5 hours away from where I'm staying. That's with traffic. And there's always traffic. It's freaking annoying, but I knew what I was signing up for. The money is good. So if I gotta if I gotta drive 1.5 hours back and forth just to get the shit done, that's what I'm gonna do. So just pay attention to the distance that your location is from the facility. Also do your research on the housing market, or like, you know, what it costs for you to stay in that area before even signing that contract. And you want to compare what you'll be making versus what you'll be paying for housing. And also don't forget to budget all the stuff that you have to take care of back home. So I say budget home and away, or combine your home and away budget together, and whatever that is, you need to be making twice that, either per month or per week. You can find contracts where you can make twice your budget per week, or at least per 2 week. But just keep that in mind whenever you're choosing the location. Just make sure that you won't be losing instead of actually seeing an income off of the assignment just by it going out in housing and what you had to take care of back at home. Once you do choose an assignment and you go to the facility, you want to mentally prepare yourself, because it could be the best assignment you've ever been on, or it could be the worst assignment you've ever been on. But once you mentally prepare yourself, like, okay, I'm only here for 8 weeks, or I'm only here for 13 weeks, I'm just gonna come in, do what I have to do, and dip. Trust me, that will make the process so much easier. That's really how I have to prepare myself every shift. Like, all right, Anna, we about to clock in, do the 12 hours, do the best we can do, protect our license at all costs, and go home. It's that simple. So just mentally prepare yourself, and just remember, you're there to work. You're not there to make friends. Most of these facilities, they can tend to be like cliquey, and you do not want to get tangled in that cobweb. Trust me, you do not want to get tangled. I'm laughing because of the last facility I just left. It's just drama, and I'm like, yeah, keep that over there. I'm only here for 8 weeks, and I don't need them. I don't do stress. So I'll just stay in the back by myself. I'm good. So yes, you're not there to make friends. Not saying that you can't be polite and you can't engage in conversation with people, but just know your boundaries. Know your boundaries. You are not one of them. They will turn on you without blinking an eye. So just keep that in mind. Also, I think that really covers everything. So what to do before even thinking of approaching an agency, having your non-negotiables, how to choose your assignments, and once you get to the facility. So my advice for you guys would be, this is the most important. Protect your license at all costs. Protect your license at all costs. Protect your license at all costs. They do not care about you. They will throw you under the bus the first chance they get if needed. And if you lose that license that you've worked so freaking hard for, nursing school is by far the hardest thing I've ever done in my entirety of existence. And I know it's the same for everybody else that have gone through that process. So why would you want to lose your license? Why would you want to put it at risk? So protect that license at all costs. Follow their policies. If they say whenever, the facility that I just left, whenever they do blood cultures, you can't draw it straight from the line. You have to use a special device, right? And then you have to collect the blood collect the blood in the syringe first. And then once you've collected a certain amount of blood in there, you have to clamp it off and then let it flow into the culture bottle. And that's their policy. Even though I've done it differently at other places, that's what they want. That's how they want it to be done there. Did I argue it? No. Did I debate it? No. I did exactly what they wanted me to do. So follow that hospital's policy, and it'll be a breeze for you, okay? Document like your life depends on it. Document. That will be the only thing saving you, is documentation, right? Because if you didn't document it, it didn't happen. So document like your life depends on it. I remember I was on a assignment in California, and when I tell you, every 2 seconds I was making a free note, because that place was so risky, and I do not want nothing to come back to me. It might not be now, but 10 plus years down the line, oh, Anna, we need you in court. For what? You remember when you went on this assignment in California, so and so and so and so? Oh, okay, yeah, everything should be documented, because, yeah, I documented. So document like your life depend on it. Also, you want to be assertive. You want to be very assertive. Assertive, but not mean. Like, the campus that I just left for the facility, they are very team oriented. And it was an incident where I had one patient, and the nurse came to me, just like came hovering and wanted to take control. And I'm okay with that. But it's the way how she approached the situation. Like, I'm talking to the patient. I'm doing my, my little routine. And sis just came like she was Miss Manager. Like, Masa, you're not needed here. So she's like, no, we do team nursing here. We do team nursing here. I'm like, I understand that, but I have one patient. I'm okay. Then she proceeded to go and tell the charge nurse, oh, she looked like she was overwhelmed, so I wanted to help her. So that's what I mean when I tell you, you're not there to make friends, because they might talk up to you and be nice, but at the end of the day, they don't like us. We there making too much money than them. So just don't even go in thinking you're gonna make friends with these people, because they do not like travelers. Not all of them, but for the most part. I've heard this comment, oh, you're the one making the big money. Yeah, I am. What's stopping you? You acting like I'm the one that's stopping you from going to make the big money. So be assertive, but not mean. I had to let her know, like, no, I'm okay. Thank you for your help, but I'm okay. If I need you, I'll call you. The next thing is ask questions. it's just like when they tell you in school, there's no stupid question. There's honestly no stupid question. I ask questions or I Google it. I will be in the patient room on my wow, typing in a question, like whatever the case may be, or if it's a new medication I've never dealt with, what is that for? How is it supposed to be administered? Or sometimes they have lexicon on their intranet where you can look up medications and stuff. But ask questions. Some of the doctors are really nice. They'll sit down and explain things in detail with you, or the charge nurses. So don't let your ego trip you up and not ask a question, and then you go and make a mistake that could put you and your patient in jeopardy. Also, the last advice I would say is be very open-minded and be fluid. Like, you will have an easier transition into the world of travel nursing when you're more open-minded and you're able to be more fluid. It's just like me right now. Like, I'm midway through my contract and I had to go through a whole new facility. Like, no, I didn't, excuse me. No, I didn't want to do that, but it's a part of the game. I'd rather them do that than to cancel my contract. So at least I'm still getting paid. I still have a job to go to, and I'm still getting paid. So it's just one of those situations where, one, again, it comes back to knowing what's in your contract. I knew that there was a possibility that I could be floated in my contract. Did I know it would be mid my contract? No, but again, I knew what could come down the pipeline. And I'm very open-minded about it. Do I like it? No. But I'm going with the flow. I'm adapting to whatever situation I need to. So keep those things in mind when you approach the thought of travel nursing. Also, keep in mind your documents that you need to get ready. Those will save you a lot of time, and you will have, a smoother transition with approaching agencies and recruiters. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Let me know if you are in the beginning stage of becoming a travel nurse, or if you're just thinking about it, and if you have any further questions that I didn't touch on in my little spiel. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so. I talk about nursing, business, and lifestyle content. I might get into some vlogs. Me and my partner / friend, we're starting an aesthetic business, and I figure it would be good to vlog some of those experiences. So who knows? We'll see. But if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Thank you for sticking throughout the entirety of this video, and I will see you in the next one later.